All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are talking about a feeling I think pretty much everyone knows. That feeling of being totally wiped out from working hard, but at the same time, feeling like you've gotten absolutely nothing done.
You ever have one of those days? You grind for 12 hours, your brain is just fried, but when you finally go to bed, you're just stuck on that one question. What did I actually do today? It's this crazy paradox of modern life, right? You're always moving, but you're not going anywhere. You're not lazy, you're just stuck on a treadmill. Well, it turns out there's a perfect name for this: fake efforts, or 假努力. Now, the most important thing to get here is that this is not about laziness. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. It's like a bug in our effort software. All our energy gets funneled into the performance of work, not the actual work itself. And that's the kind of hustle that leads you straight to burnout, with zero to show for it.
So, what does this actually look like in real life? We're going to break down 4 common profiles, starting with one you've definitely seen. And hey, maybe you've even been the performer. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? It shows you what the performer is really after. The goal isn't really to master English, it's to get that emotional high from being dedicated. The effort itself becomes the reward. It's like you're just collecting stickers for trying hard. Telling yourself this story about how disciplined you are, whether you're actually getting better or not. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. See, fake effort sets a goal based on time and input. Real effort, though, sets a goal based on a specific, measurable outcome. Here's the key difference. The performer can read for an hour, kind of zone out, and still check the box. Done. But the person who's focused on mastery, they have to face the hard stuff. They have to listen, repeat, fail, and then do it all over again until it's right. One person feels busy, the other person actually gets better. So how do you break out of this trap? You have to stop performing for some imaginary audience, and that includes yourself. You've got to connect the work to something you personally care about. So instead of thinking, oh, this is going to look great on my review, you need to ask, how does this actually make me more capable? Define a goal that is so specific and so exciting to you that you just don't need anyone else's approval anymore. Okay, this leads us straight into our second profile, which is so tricky because it preys on our best intentions. Let's talk about the worrier, who gets stuck in the self-discipline trap. It is one of the great ironies of being human, isn't it? The second you command yourself, okay, focus, now, your brain just immediately fights back and starts searching for the closest, most interesting distraction. That inner battle, that constant voice in your head telling you what to do, it doesn't create focus. It just creates anxiety. And what does anxiety want? An escape. And this is exactly why. This chart shows where all our mental energy goes. The actual work you're trying to do, it becomes the tiniest little slice of the pie. All your brain power is being eaten up by 2 totally useless thought loops. First, you're worrying about trying to be disciplined, and second, you're beating yourself up when you fail. You're exhausted before you even really start. The solution isn't to force it more. It's to give yourself a little grace. It really starts with just accepting that you're a human, not some productivity robot. You're gonna get distracted sometimes. The key is to trust that deep down your desire to grow and achieve is real. And from there, you can cultivate what the source calls songqi gan. It's this sense of relaxed confidence. It's about letting go of that white-knuckle grip on control and letting rest and recovery do their job.
All right, now for a big one. If you've ever worked in a high-pressure job, you're going to recognize our third profile, the competitor, who is completely trapped in the endless comparison game. Man, this story about Yaleen is just so heartbreaking because it is so real. For the competitor, a single mistake isn't a learning experience. It's a public verdict on their entire worth. Every meeting, every project, it all becomes this battlefield where they're either winning or losing against everybody else in the room. The root of this whole problem is something called a fixed mindset. If you believe your talent is some fixed thing you're born with, then your whole life becomes about proving you have enough of it. Every interaction is a test, but a growth mindset, it completely changes the game. The goal isn't to be better than other people, it's just to be better than you were yesterday. And failure, it's not a verdict, it's just data. So the way forward is a pretty radical shift in how you see things. You have to consciously move from proving yourself to improving yourself. And that means taking full ownership. When you fail, you don't blame the situation, you look at your strategy. You start seeing today's challenges not as threats, but as the training ground for who you want to be tomorrow. This brings us to our final and, I gotta say, maybe the most explosive profile of fake effort, the sprinter.
Oh, we all know this person. On January 1st, they announce they're going to learn a new language, run a marathon, and write a book, all in the same year. It's this super intense, all or nothing approach that's really just fueled by a secret desire for a miracle, for some overnight transformation.
And the end result is always the same. It's like a rocket that burns out before it even gets off the launch pad. The impossible goals lead to an impossible schedule. Health, sleep, friends, they all get sacrificed for the goal. And when that inevitable crash happens, it is just devastating. All that initial fire just turns into a pile of ash and self-doubt. So the antidote here really requires some brutal honesty about your motivation. Is your goal secretly about showing off? Is it designed to impress other people and feed your ego? Or is it a useful goal, tied to something you genuinely, practically want to do? A useful goal gives you the patience to get through the long, slow, messy process of real growth. An ego goal, on the other hand, demands a miracle, and when it doesn't get one, it just gives up.
So we've got the performer, the worrier, the competitor, and the sprinter. 4 different ways we get stuck, but they all come from the exact same place. They are all symptoms of a single core problem. And this, right here, this is the key that unlocks the whole thing. The solution to all 4 types of fake effort is to stop obsessing over the feeling of hard work. The struggle, the long hours, the discipline, that's not the point. Those are just side effects. The real point, the only thing that actually matters, is having an incredibly clear, specific, and meaningful target. When you are locked onto a destination you truly care about, the journey kind of takes care of itself.
And that leaves us with the one question that cuts through all the noise. Forget about looking busy. Forget about trying to be more disciplined. Forget about what anyone else is doing. Just take a second and ask yourself with total honesty, what is my real target?